Canterbury University launched an independent investigation after the death of one of its students at a hostel went unnoticed for weeks. The young man's body was found in his room at the Sonoda Hall of Residence on Monday, but may have been there for up to 2 months. The university's website says Sonoda, which is privately operated but has a contract with the varsity, offers support and pastoral care and has 2 resident assistants at the hostel to help students. But it seems nobody noticed the student hadn't been around. I talked to the university's Vice-Chancellor, Cheryl a little earlier, and she told me she'd spoken to the young man's family.
I've given priority to the needs of the family who are in a state of extreme pain and grief. This has affected all of us very deeply. And our concern has been about the family's needs, the needs of our students and our staff, and as I indicated earlier, making sure that we do everything that we can to find answers to the questions that we all have.
Okay, one of the primary questions is how long has the death of the student gone undiscovered? Reports are up to 2 months. Can you tell us?
Lisa, the answer to that question will come forth through the police investigation.
But for a number of weeks, is that your understanding?
At this point in time, I will not speculate, but we do know it for some time. I don't, at this point in time, have an answer to that specific question. The police are investigating that specific matter, the timing and the circumstances surrounding the death.
In your discussions with the family, what have you said to them?
I'm deeply sorry. I will, in the university, we will do all we can to find the answers to these questions and then to make sure that whatever needs to be done by way of remedial or corrective action to ensure that this never happens again will be done. And
so
we are undertaking to that.
So in essence, you've apologised to them?
I have. I'm very sorry that this has happened. I've shared that with them.
What do you think pastoral care is? What is pastoral care in your mind?
Pastoral care is looking after the whole of the student, which would include the cognitive or the intellectual needs, as well as the emotional and physical needs of the student. We have on campus those services, but the investigation will point out where we might do differently.
Right, because,
do more.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to relate this to the circumstances that are now unfolding. So Sonoda offers pastoral care. The Hall of Residence says on your website that they offer pastoral care. Have they done that in this case?
The information we have is what we do student surveys regularly. We get reports regularly. But in the specific instance, that's precisely the term that will be covered by the investigation, answering what happened or did not happen in this specific instance.
I'm asking your opinion here, Vice-Chancellor. Do you think, from all that you know, that pastoral care at the right level was offered here?
Lisa, it's clear to me that we need to find an answer to that very question. And I'm committing that we'll do all within our power to make sure that we find the answers. And when I have it, I am undertaking to share that.
So what are your expectations then around this? Because do they have contractual obligations to you, the accommodation provider? And what are those around looking after the students?
There is a contract with the university. It's been in place for some time. It's been updated and renewed. Some provisions have been changed over the period of time to improve the level of care. But as I indicated, the independent investigation as well as the police investigation will inform us to what extent those undertakings were met and or if there were any gaps in the arrangements. and we will address those.
Don't you already have the answer to that very simple question about pastoral care? If you have a young man that has been dead for a number of weeks and nobody at the halls of residence apparently noticed, don't you have the answer to that question about whether pastoral care was adequate?
Lisa, I have to repeat what I've said earlier. I am seeking answers to those questions. I'm deeply concerned about it, and for that reason, we've taken the decision to have an independent investigation to find answers to these very questions.
So which other halls of residence does this provider administer?
Several of the others. The total extent of the service provider is in the area of 2/3 of the total number.
So have you checked up on the students that are in those other complexes?
Yes, we have, since this has come to my attention.
How so? How have you done that?
We have, in each case, checked up. We've provided opportunities for every student in those halls, and my team will make sure that they follow that through.
So this student was living in, what was described as an apartment-style accommodation. Some areas are communal with separate bedrooms. Did no one notice that they hadn't seen him?
Lisa, that's a question, as I've indicated, that I have as well. It's a question that the police are asking, and it's a question that the independent investigators will seek answers to.
And what answers have been given to you? About the resident advisors as well. When did they last see him?
The police are investigating those, and we are cooperating as fully as possible. But
I'm sure you are asking those questions yourself. The accommodation provides 3 meals a day, and by all accounts, he hasn't been turning up for weeks. Lectures, hasn't been turning up for weeks. Lives in an apartment-style accommodation, won't have been cited for weeks. 2 resident advisors on site and many more staff, you say, not cited for weeks. We're just trying to understand, why did no one raise this?
Lisa, as I've indicated, I am seeking answers to those very questions. When I have the answers, I will share the answers with you.
Are all other residents still in the Sonoda Hall of Residence?
The opportunity to be relocated has been provided to the Sonoda residents. Some of them have opted to use that opportunity, others have not.
So how many have moved out?
The process is ongoing, so the offer is still there and the arrangements are being made.
So when you last heard, how many students had taken the opportunity to move out?
Not many, but I expect over the next few days that number might change.
So the other students in the apartment area where this student was, have they chosen to stay or go?
Several of them have chosen to exercise the opportunity to move.
And that's Canterbury University Vice-Chancellor Cheryl Ray there.